Hey guys, Caitlin with Gravel, and today we are diving into the Remarkable Paper Pro, which is Remarkable's first color e-ink device in their lineup. I've had the Remarkable 2 for quite a while. I've been obsessed with it, been using it for the last year for all of my desk needs and notes, and today we're gonna dive into this one, so let's open it up. I did take to Reddit and I wanted to see what people were curious about with the Remarkable Paper Pro, and a lot of it was kind of comparing it to the Remarkable 2, as a lot of other owners probably have this already. And so I've been using this for the last year, and I'm gonna be comparing them side by side to show you what I saw a lot of people were asking questions about. So just so you know. But for now, let's get into the Paper Pro. So this is actually pretty interesting. It is 5.1 millimeters, which if I'm remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure that that is the thickness of the iPad Pro 12.9 inch, the one that they just released. As always, the unboxing of a Remarkable product is quite nice. There we go. Yes. I feel like Remarkable knows how to package things. I mean, they're doing it great. We'll open the pin at the same time because we definitely can't use the tablet without it, so. These are gonna be some nibs, which we all kind of know what those are like, so I don't feel like I need to. Wow, okay, so already with the pen, definitely seeing some nicer qualities from the first one, which I also own, and I can go ahead and compare that right now. Fresh out of the box, this is feeling a lot heavier, a lot nicer. I like this detail that they've added here. As you can see the differences of the two, I'll go ahead and lay them out. About the same exact size. Looks like this one's a little bit shorter, which I definitely like because I preferred a shorter pen when I was writing, and the weight to it is much nicer. This just kind of feels, I don't know, maybe this one just feels a lot more like higher quality. The nibs are different, as you can tell. My nib is a little bit, it's been used. But that's interesting. As for the actual Paper Pro, I just love their packaging experience. Like, yes, like I'm feeling the same feeling that I, on the RM2, can feel underneath. So let's see. I mean, oh, that's nice. There's just something about like the Remarkable tablets. So hold the power button to get started, which is here up on that top left. So we are getting started, and I'm gonna marker pluses here. Oh, I see. Okay, the first ounce of color on an e-ink screen. It is really fun to look at. I mean, the best way to describe it when I look at it is as if I'm looking at like a newspaper, right? I'm reading the newspaper in the morning. Who does that? I know. But it just feels like so right. And okay, so attach your marker. Looks like the attachment spot. Yep. There we go, your marker is charging, now let's wait. Keep it attached, okay. This is what a digital paper screen looks like, this normal keeps it, okay, yep. Okay, so one of the first comparisons I wanted to do was the RM2 to the Remarkable Paper Pro to the 2024 M4 iPad Pro, which is honestly the exact same thickness. It looks like the Remarkable Paper Pro is the exact same thickness, but because they have these little kind of like rubber things on the back so that it can't move around on your surface, it actually gives it a little bit more height. So you'll see that immediately on the table. I'll give you a side profile view, but people are basically saying that the Paper Pro has a similar writing experience to an iPad with obviously the Apple Pencil more than the paper feeling of the RM2. Another thing people are really worried about is that the Paper Pro is just too big to daily carry. Now, because it's super lightweight, I wouldn't say that it is too big to daily carry. I mean, if you're gonna be able to, you know, just throw this like in your bag, I wouldn't see that as an issue. If you are walking around a site, I could see where, okay, this is kind of annoying, you know, to have by your side like this. As you can see, this is kind of how you would daily carry it. I will say immediately, the magnet on the pen, much stronger. Like, that is not gonna just randomly fall off unless it gets hit, obviously, from the sides. But if you're pulling like that, it actually takes quite a lot of effort. Let me show you the comparison on this one. As you can see, it kind of like, there's more give to it. mostly because it feels like the magnet is just right here, whereas on this one, it does feel like the magnet is more evenly across, and you don't have this ridge up here, which causes a disconnect, which on this one, as you can see, it kind of pulls off right there. So that's because, again, the magnets seem to be kind of in the center here. So I would say, like, pretty awesome already. I am noticing kind of this like yellow green, this like yellow blue tint. And so I guess I can see where people are saying that that's annoying. So one of the first things I'm immediately noticing is everyone seemed to say the screen is darker, and absolutely it is. This is looking a lot more white like my table. This is looking a lot more gray yellow than my table. One thing I saw on Reddit of people who have the Paper Pro is they were saying they really couldn't notice a difference with the reading light on full blast versus it completely off. And so we're gonna test that right now. Right now it's completely off, and then I'm gonna put it completely on. And yeah, I mean, I'd say, if anything, it just kind of makes it more of like a bluish tint, but it does look like no difference. So obviously I have my background light on, but as you can tell, this thing really just is illuminating kind of this like bluish tint. When I turn it off, you'll notice it goes back to that gray screen. And then when I turn it on, we get that bluish tint back. Sorry if this is wobbling a little bit. And so, yeah, I don't know. That'll be interesting to use in like a completely blacked out situation, like in bed or something. But for now, interesting to try. Another thing I saw on Reddit is that it was advertised to have 64 gigabytes of storage, which is quite different from your RM2. This has 8 gigabytes of storage. And immediately you'll notice that when you receive the device, I've put nothing on this yet, it has 46.32 gigabytes available. And this one, although it came with 6.57, that ratio, I guess it's like 20% is being used for something else. So kind of interesting. Right now we're gonna test the writing experience on both. This is a brand new nib on this marker for my RM2. I'd say, you know, it feels kind of slippery like it does, but it does feel like that pen to paper, not really pencil to paper. And immediately, this feels, honestly, this feels more ballpoint penish. I think I prefer, just on like immediate test, I prefer the way this feels. It is a lot more of a gritty feeling, and that's because this screen feels a little bit, again, these are all initial thoughts. The screen feels a little more gritty. One thing we really wanted to try out, so that's interesting. Upon like initial test, I definitely prefer the feeling of this one. And I've seen a lot of people say that they just don't. They prefer the feeling of the RM2. So for now, I'm gonna put the RM2 away, and we're basically gonna test out the colors. Let's see how this goes. So as you can see for colors, you get black, gray, white, blue, red, green, yellow, cyan, and magenta. So apparently there is a shader tool. Yep, right here. So this middle one on the bottom is your shader tool. And as you can see, they kind of have this like half coloring to them. And so I'm gonna test out the gray, but then immediately test out the cyan on top, and then orange. So something I saw on Reddit was people who really understand color theory are gonna have an amazing time with this device because they're able to mix colors in a really beautiful way, and that's completely true. I wouldn't say that I'm very great at color theory, so that doesn't really fall into my abilities, but it is fun. Like, I'm having fun. Let's see if I go to kind of the marker that isn't the shader tool and see if it looks a different, oh yeah, it's much more intense. So here we have red, and then in the shader tool, we'll do red. And as you can see, this one basically just has the opacity turned down. So this is your red marker, and this is your red shader. It's basically just the opacity being different. And I wonder if we put a red shader over that one, yeah, it pretty much just cohesively shades into it. If we do a blue on top of that, yeah, so it's just mixing. Now, when you zoom, that was a lot faster movement than the RM2. This is pretty fun. Like, I like seeing how close. Obviously, we have this kind of dotted look that is pretty standard for RM2. And just e-ink tablets in general, we're getting this kind of, let's see if I can zoom any more. Nope, I think 5x might be my maximum, yeah. Yep, looks to be. So, what's fun is the calligraphy pin on Remarkable honestly makes you incredible at anything you try. So, if you want to just go ahead and write your name, I'm obviously very zoomed in. But that's pretty fun. And I did that in the blue. I really like that blue color. That's nice. But yeah, it's interesting how this looks. And then if I were to turn on the screen light, I'm curious how much that's going to change the coloring, because it made it look so different in the dark. Doesn't look very different. I mean, the colors are definitely brighter. That blue was a lot brighter than before. But so far, I just love the look of e-ink. It's not even that it's the color for me, it's just like that it's e-ink. How fun is that? So, it's just a blast of a tool. I find that the RM2 had made me so much more productive when it came to video, because I was able to use the tablet for so many things. I think that this tablet will be very useful for people who are really into drawing, people who like to read comics and want to do it on, you know, a digital device, but not an iPad or like a full color tablet. This could also be really useful for storyboarding for videographers and filmmakers, because they're able to actually include the kind of colors that they want. Obviously, you are limited to these 9 colors. Pretty fun so far. It is a lot faster with zooming. And just a heads up, you can't use, to my finding, the Marker Plus on the RM2, and you also cannot use the old marker on the Paper Pro Plus. They have to be to their specific devices. As you can see, once I do the switch, now they're working. When I go this way, they're not working. So that's interesting. One thing I was thinking about is that magenta is a nice color. Look at that. Oh, so we all know on the RM2 going through a PDF can be kind of bulky and annoying, but on here I'm going to test Quicksheet zooms. So let's go ahead at the exact same time. On the Quicksheet, looks to be about the same. Yeah. Now it looks like the Paper Pro is having to do a lot more refreshing to show you like the right colors. Okay, so for right now, I'm actually testing the M4 iPad Pro with a Paperlike screen protector on it, which makes it feel like paper. And I will say immediately, they make a similar sound, but let's see the feeling. So we'll start here. We'll go ahead, just go to our ballpoint pen and type, hey. Okay, I like that. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Oh, yeah. I mean, truly, once you write on a Remarkable tablet and then you try to write on an iPad, you're like, that's disgusting. Now, I will say, I don't think that this is more similar to an iPad. I feel like, if anything, it's very true to Remarkable feeling. I know some people have varying opinions on that, but for me, I actually liked the writing feeling on this more than the RM2, but the bummer is that I like the size of the RM2 for it being a writing tablet, my daily go-to journal, you know, like my morning pages. I want to spend time with this thing, whereas this, as you can see, let's go ahead and compare. They're actually sticking together because of the magnets. So that's the RM2, Paper Pro, and obviously the 12.9 2024 iPad Pro. And then when we take that away, you can just see these two together. Interesting on the thickness. Obviously the RM2 is much thinner. Yeah, so these two are the exact same, but obviously the writing difference is so very different. We have obviously a difference in size as well, about 1 inch. And I would, again, prefer the Remarkable over an iPad. any day. But the iPad allows me to do 3D design, and I love doing 3D design, so I still will use the iPad. A quick break to thank our sponsor of this video, which is actually us, Gravel Travel. We are a travel goods company that make your traveling so much easier. And just to thank our YouTube community, we've actually given you a discount code. It is gonna be YTFriends, and you'll just go ahead and type that in at checkout, and you can grab yourself a travel blanket or a toiletry bag or our TSA 311 bag, which I use for all of my tech products when I'm traveling. But anyways, we'll get back into the video. Okay, so hopping into the same PDF, we're gonna see what scrolling through these looks like. Now, yeah, it is faster. Oh, okay, so there's less of like a, this one is flashing, whereas this one is not at all. Interesting. So we're inside of an article that I've marked up, that I've gone through on here. As you can see, kind of the size difference. The font is obviously bigger, even though the settings are the same. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to that front page. Same amount of pressure. I mean, I'd say it's pretty similar. Now, the speed of these things, I don't know if they really matter, because when you're using the Remarkable tablet, the whole point is that you're kind of slowed down. Obviously, you want the software to be working well enough that you're getting things done, that you're taking notes on site, or you're marking up PDFs to send back to a client or, you know, a colleague. But I don't know if, like, you know, the refresh speed is that big of a difference. I also don't know if it's that big of a difference on the iPhones we're using every single day, which is something that Apple loves to, you know, hype up. But that is something to test, because people on Reddit were saying that it is faster. I'd say, yeah, maybe like half a second faster or a second faster, but to me, it's not that big of a difference. And it's also not the reason that I would be buying this. The reason I'd be buying this is because I absolutely want that color feature. So obviously, if we're inside of a PDF, the difference is that on this one, I can go ahead and mark things up, you know, in a pink that's gonna actually show me. Whereas this one, obviously, I can choose a pink. Let's try that. So here I am with a pink. Here I am with a pink. As you can see, we actually have pink, and on this one, we have a gray pink. And that's pretty fun. I like being able to see, you know, the coloring of it all. It's pretty cool. Whereas here, obviously, we're just kind of believing that it's pink. I hope this was helpful for you, and if there's some points that I totally missed, make sure you drop them in the comments. I'll make another video on this product. This won't be the first and last. One thing I want to do is take it onto an airplane, see what it's like to use, and really kind of like travel with, because that's really important for me and what we do at Gravel Travel. It's a welcome surprise. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.